roads leading out of there on how to apply it. This, according to Ayn Rand, is the meaning of life. The ongoing experience of personal joy and exaltation as the result of holding and fulfilling rational values. For instance, personally, after this talk tonight, I'm in Wisconsin for the first time in several years. In pursuit of personal values, I am going to Culver's, and I am going to knock down some concrete, and I am going to make sure I enjoy my stay in Wisconsin. My brief stay in Wisconsin, because I move on to Minnesota. Minor value, ice cream, but still, a value. As part of being an American, you know, I mean, we are proudly the fattest people of history, and so, you know, I think the cheeseheads in Wisconsin live up to that. You know, I think that they're good Americans. You know, you see the Packer games on TV, and these guys got so much fat they can take off their shirt, you know, and when it's 0 degrees, it's not even cold. I said, good for them. They're real Americans. I know. Go to Europe, you know, like in France, they eat these tiny portions, and they're so skinny. So I want to go back to a country where they eat man-sized portions. I want to go to Texas where they eat a whole steer for dinner, or go to Wisconsin where the cheeseheads, you know how to live. You know, this is being a real American. And by the way, seriously, being overweight, of course, has its own set of difficulties. But, you know, part of the result of American capitalism is that, you know, we grow so much food that, we can worry about obesity, in contrast to the non-capitalist countries of the world where people die by the millions of famine. Always have in the non-capitalist world, and still do, and always will. Now, so the first section for the discussion tonight is the first section of my outline is about values. And the heading for this section is going to be Values as the Meaning of Life. If you take a note, you can write that down. Values as the meaning of life. So I want to start off by defining what values are. You know, I teach ethics. I think Jonathan said my PhD is in philosophy. You know, I've taught ethics courses for many years, or moral philosophy. And I'll ask the kids, you know, even the adults in the night classes, you know, what do we mean by values? And they generally just kind of have a fuzzy, you know, vague idea. You know, on what values are. Normally they confuse them with virtues, you know, with being honest, having integrity, or character traits like that. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. You didn't know that, right? People hear me talk, they think I'm from Mississippi, but I'm not. I'm from Brooklyn. No, I am a product of the Brooklyn public educational system. Actually, given what I didn't learn there, I'm more self-educated than you know, having learned anything in the government schools. But be that as it may, most people don't know what values are. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. I like it simple. Values are what you consider valuable. Now, what do you consider important? What brings personal meaning, purpose, passion into your life? Is something so important to you that it impels you to goal-directed action? Ayn Rand defined values as that which one acts to gain and or keep. I repeat that. Ayn Rand defines values as, quote, that which one acts to gain and or keep. And the key term in that definition is acts. Right? Values are always the object of an action. They're things or persons so important to you that they impel you to get up off your little booty and take purposeful, goal-directed action, to go after whatever it is you love, whatever it is you want out of that. So, for example, let's say I would say, oh, if I had $5 million, you know, what that could do, that is like even unimaginable for somebody who's a philosophy professor. But, you know, just, I got a 7-year-old daughter, and then she would say to me, Daddy, just pretend. Just pretend. So just pretend that I can even fantasy. I mean, I win the freaking lottery, you know, because I got to play the lottery in order to win it. But I win the lottery, I got $5 million, you know. Actually, that's not a good example, especially. But, you know, if I had $5 million, the things I could do with them. But if all I did about this You know, was lying on the beach at Boca, you know, sip pina coladas, watch the girls go by. You know, if that's all I did, is it $5 million of value? No. It's a dream, it's a wish, it's a fantasy. You know, what would make it a value, of course, would be to get up off my rear end and, first of all, get a job and start to make some money. Second of all, work out a budget so I can live frugally, so I can start to save some part of my earnings. Third of all, get a second job and save all of that money because I'm living off part of the earnings from my first job. And to do this over a period of years and save it, invest it, track my investments, grow my nest egg, you know, over a period of years. See, then you could say creating wealth is a value to this person. You know, he's taking actions, taking goal-directed steps to make this a reality. So a value is always the object of an action. So, for example, you know, some people value education, and that's, you know, they'll go to school, you know, well, they don't have to